Okay, let's see what the Wongs are up to today, okay? Our scenario says Mrs. Wong walks into the twins' room. The twins being Jimmy and Timmy, right?
Right.
They are playing internet games on their phones.
Oh, okay. So they're using their smartphones to play games on the internet, and Mrs. Wong is going to disturb them. She's going to stop their activity, find out why. She says, Jimmy and Timmy, and then she asks a question many mothers ask to many children, especially boys and girls too.
Well, yeah.
So she asks them, why are there clothes all over the floor? A very, very good question. Clothes are, well, clothes. It's spelled C-L-O-T-H-E-S. It's a lovely noun. C-L-O-T-H-E-S. Okay, and clothes are basically what we wear. Everything from a shirt, a jacket, a hat, to pants, socks, and shoes. All of these would be considered clothes. We wear different clothes depending on the weather, depending on the season, but if you're wearing something on your body to cover yourself, you're wearing clothes of some kind. Notice when we're talking about it, there's always an S. So you can't say, I have one cloth. No, you have a piece of clothing or some clothes, all right? Anything you wear, that's what we're talking about. For example, it's cold today, so Sharon put on some warm clothes. It's cold today, so Sharon put on some warm clothes.
So Jimmy is probably in the middle of an exciting game.
Oh, sure.
And I don't think he wants to stop or pause, P-A-U-S-E, which means to stop playing his game, just to pick up some clothes that are all over the floor.
Right.
So he says, we'll clean the room later, Mom.
Oh, okay. So he wants to clean it after he finishes the game. Well, I guess that's okay for Mom because it seems that the scenario or the scene changes. We've moved on a few hours. It says it's the middle of the night. The middle of the night would be right when you're sleeping, 2, 3, 4 a.m., something like that would be the middle of the night. And Paige, or Mrs. Wong, I should say, she notices that Paige is still up. Maybe she notices there's a light from Paige's room, or she hears Paige still walking around making noise. Obviously, Paige is not sleeping. She's still up. What's going on?
Okay, so it looks like Paige is watching something on her laptop.
Uh-oh, staying up late watching movies.
Which a laptop is one of those small computers that you can put on your lap, actually, and they open and close.
That's right.
So Mrs. Wong says to her daughter, Paige, why are you still up at this hour? So the word up means that you are out of your bed. Okay, so you're not sleeping. For example, you could ask, what time did you wake up this morning? Or you can ask, what time did you get up this morning?
Ah, yeah, and that's an important distinction. If you wake up, that just means you stop sleeping. But for some people, especially on the weekend, you might wake up, but then stay in bed reading or just playing around on your smartphone. When you get up, that's when you get out of bed, you get dressed, you brush your teeth, you start the active part of your day. So they're a little bit different. Wake up, stop sleeping, get up, get out of bed. Now, Paige says, shh, something important is happening. If you say shh, you're getting someone to be quiet. Why? Remember, she's watching a movie or something on her computer. She says, something important is happening. I'll go to bed after this part. So the important thing that's happening is happening in her movie. Maybe they're going to tell you who killed the guy, or you know, maybe the boy's going to ask the girl to marry him, and it's going to be so exciting. But if something is important is happening, that means something exciting and interesting in my show or my movie is happening. I'll talk to you later. So she says she'll talk to her after this part. Important, it's an adjective. It's an important adjective, and it's spelled I-M-P-O-R-T-A-N-T. I-M-P-O-R-T-A-N-T. Okay, if something is important, that means it's major. It's something that you can't ignore. All right, important things are things that must be faced or taken care of or dealt with. Something that you can't just say, I'll do that later. If it's important, you shouldn't do it later. You should do it now. For example, everyone has to go to this important meeting. Everyone has to go to this important meeting because it's something that's very serious and something that requires a lot of immediate attention. It's important.
Okay, so it looks like it's the next day now.
Oh, some more time has passed.
Yeah, because our scenario is a little bit different.
This is our third scene already.
Okay.
All right, what's going on now?
It says the next morning, Paige, Jimmy, and Timmy are on their phones.
Again with the
playing
phones.
on their phones, yes.
It's like it's part of their body. But Paige is having a bit of problem with her phone.
Oh, no.
She says, I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. She can't connect to the Wi-Fi. When you're using a phone, basically that means you can't go online. You can't use the internet. Wi-Fi is short for wireless fidelity. Basically, it's a way you get internet signals or phone signals possibly to your phone without being plugged in to the internet. Wi-Fi is very, very useful. But yeah, depending on if a lot of people are using it or even the weather and things like that, Wi-Fi can kind of go in and go out. It can be more reliable or sometimes not so reliable. Sometimes it works slowly or doesn't work at all, and that seems to be the problem that Paige is having now.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not just Paige that has this problem.
Interesting.
Timmy has the same problem. He says, neither can I, which means that he can't connect to the Wi-Fi either.
Right. In some ways, that's good news because at least Paige knows that her phone isn't the problem.
Yeah.
It's the Wi-Fi that's the problem if other people have the same issue or the same problem. And Mrs. Wong, well, she cuts right to the heart of the matter. She explains all the problems by telling the kids, that's because I changed the password. A lot of you do know, I'm sure, that when you use Wi-Fi, often if it's a private Wi-Fi network, you need a password, kind of like a PIN number, something like that, a secret code that only allows the people who know it to use the Wi-Fi. So not everyone can use it. And she changed it. So the old password doesn't work. So basically they are locked out. They can't get onto the Wi-Fi right now.
That's why they can't connect.
Yep.
Because their password doesn't work.
Yep.
Ah, okay. So if someone changes the password, the first thing you'd want to know is probably the same thing that Jimmy wants to know, which is, what's the new password?
That's right. You change the password, you want to know the new password. If someone changes the locks on your door, you want the new key for that new lock. Otherwise, you can't use it. But Mrs. Wong, she has a plan.
Oh no, it doesn't sound good.
No, well, the kids might think it's an evil plan. She thinks maybe it's a good plan, but she tells them her plan. She says, in the future, only I will know the password, says Mrs. Wong.
That's an evil plan.
I see what she's doing here. So she's changed the rules, basically, of using the Wi-Fi in the house for the kids. And from now into the future, only she will know the password. So if they want to use it, they'll have to ask Mom. And that's going to be happening, as I said, now and in the future. The future, F-U-T-U-R-E. It's a noun, F-U-T-U-R-E. The future. And the future is basically a part of time. When we talk about time, and we also use it when talking about English grammar in language, we often have three different times. The present, now, the past, yesterday, things that have already happened, and the future, things that haven't happened yet. So when I talk about tomorrow, next month, next year, the year 2079, this is all in the future. It's time that has not happened yet. For example, cars might be able to fly in the future. Cars might be able to fly in the future.
So Timmy isn't really sure what's going on. He doesn't know why his mom changed the password and why in the future only his mom will know the password.
Exactly.
So he is
his
confused.
whole world has gone mad. He doesn't understand this world he lives in. So he asks his mom why. He might say why, or he might say why. We don't know, but he's probably not happy about this. And she explains why. Well, kind of, in that mom way. She says, it's a new rule. She doesn't really explain why. She just says, it's a new rule. Or as my mom used to say, when we said why, my mom would just say, because.
My mom used to do that
And
too.
that was it. That was all the information you'd get. And then you'd say, because why? And she'd say, because I'm your mom.
Oh,
and you go, okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so she wants to change the rules, and she's the mom, so I guess she's allowed to. But the kids won't like it.
No, but actually she kind of does tell them why, okay?
All right.
She says, you kids spend too much time on the internet.
Playing games and not doing their housework.
Not sleeping.
Not sleeping because they're watching movies. That does seem like a lot of time.
So we've come to our final word power word for today, spend. S-P-E-N-D, spend. It's a verb. If you spend time doing something, you are using your time to do something. For example, I spend my weekends playing video games. What this means is that you use your time during the weekend to play video games. We also have another example sentence for you guys. The example sentence is, Natasha spent 2 hours making this birthday card. Again, Natasha spent 2 hours making this birthday card.
And Paige is also as upset as Jimmy and Timmy are. And she says something that I'm sure is totally true.
For everyone?
But we can't live without Wi-Fi. Right? We need food, water, oxygen, and Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is probably the top on the list, right?
We
don't
need Wi-Fi, water, food, and air. Otherwise, we will die. I think she's sort of exaggerating, we might say, or overreacting. She's acting a way that's a little too much for this situation. But I think for a lot of people, especially young people, living without Wi-Fi would be like living without money or living without a bicycle or any way to get around. You know, it's such an important part of her life that she would feel like, I can't do anything. My life is over.
Okay, well, Mrs. Wong.
I'm upset for her.
Are you?
I am.
You should give her your Wi-Fi.
No way!
Okay, going back to the article.
Yes.
Mrs. Wong now tells her children the new rule.
Okay, I thought the new rule was she's going to change the Wi-Fi
Right,
password.
but then she has a rule.
Oh, there's
also.
another rule attached to that.
The
Oh,
Wi-Fi.
boy, okay.
Okay, so she says,
Yeah.
she's kind of nice actually. She says,
Okay.
you may only use Wi-Fi for 1 hour each day.
Wait, you said she's nice?
Yeah.
They can only use it for 1 hour each day?
I mean, if your mom was really mean, she wouldn't let you use Wi-Fi at all.
Oh, okay, that's a
Right?
good point. And, you know, if you're just chatting with your friends, an hour might be enough. But I'm not sure the kids will like this. But there is also a little bit of a change to that rule. There's a little bit of an adjustment to that rule. She then says, if you need it for homework, then tell me. So they can use it to go online, to do research, download things for school, but chatting, games, watching movies, that's the kind of thing she doesn't want so much of.
So Mrs. Wong, she's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, like my parents wouldn't allow me to watch TV on school days.
Okay.
Which meant
Wow.
I could only watch TV on the weekends.
Wow.
So Mrs. Wong is pretty nice. I
Yeah.
mean, she allows them to play play on, use the Wi-Fi for an hour on a school day.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's okay.
That's
And, after all, I mean, the family, Mr. and Mrs. Wong, they're paying for the Wi-Fi. The kids aren't. And I've heard of other families kind of do this. And if the kids do their homework and clean up the house, then they can get the password. And it does seem kind of fair. I also understand that once you get on the internet and you're doing something fun, time can just fly away from you. So it might be good to focus on school.
time is flying from us right now.
I know, we got to
because-
change our Wi-Fi password.
No, we have
No?
to go to our wrap-up right now.
That's a good idea.
So stay tuned.